All right, welcome to Mild Wild Fabrication. I'm Phil. Jordan's over here videoing for me. Today we want to take the time to go over this LT4 car that we picked up. We picked this up about a week or so ago, and we got it free. It was given to us. Thank you for that. We get to be the caretakers of it. But there's been some questions on what it is. It is an LT4 powered car. It is a 6-speed car. It is an F45 suspension car, indicating it would be a 96. However, as many people have pointed out, it does not have the color match between the lights, indicating it's 95 or older. But I assure you, it is an LT4 car. As you can see, it does have the LT4 motor. As you can see, it does have F45 suspension, and it is a 6-speed. So what is it? Well, here's what this is. This isn't a 96. This is technically a 1995. However, it was built in 94. We actually have the build sheet right here. Wrong way. This car was built in May 23rd in 1994. It's a 1995 model year, car number 37 off the line. If you notice down here on the build sheet, it says Proto. This is a 96 Proto production car. As you can tell, it is a 95. It has LT4 right on the build sheet. So basically, this is a validation car that was built prior to 96 to test all of the 96 components. So it is a 95 for all practical purposes by the VIN, and of course it has a 95 bumper on it because they hadn't started producing 96 yet. However, it does have a lot of odd things on it that are all pre-production. First things we found was we pulled the ignition coil or the ignition module off the block to get to the pad, and as you can see here, there is no VIN numbers or anything on the pad. There is a number determining it was built, I think it was March 23rd of in Detroit, Michigan or something like that, but there is no VIN on it like you would see on a normal Corvette. A few other things. Suspension. The F45 suspension is all there, and if you notice, it has, from the video, or excuse me, from the photo, there's actually engineering sample tags on the suspension. Same with a bunch of other components. For instance, mass airflow engineering sample. So technically the car is a 95. However, it's a pre-production 95. I don't know how many miles it has on it. We have got power to it. Most of the stuff powered up except for the dash. Dash wouldn't power up, so we can't check the miles. Now, based off of the Carfax that we have, this thing in 95 had 14,500 miles on it. And I know for a fact the car has not been on city streets since 96. So I'm guessing it has under 20,000 miles on it still. It does still have the factory GSC tires on it, except for this one has been replaced. The other three are the factory. They're no good, but they're on there. Most of the car is here. It has had a hard life. As you can see, the windshield's busted. Look at the interior here. For some reason, the airbag was pried up. We do have some of the interior trim pieces missing. Somebody decided to eat on the steering column for some reason.
And this is this is the radio that came with it, or the AC Delco prototype radio they were testing in it.
So it was just laying in there, wasn't hooked up, but some kind of proto production radio that was in it. The only parts that's really missing per se on the car, we are missing the gas lid door. The fender over there for the battery, of course, is sitting in the back. All the carpet in the car is good. Seats are good. They're kind of, scraped up a little bit, but that could be fixed. Door panels are good. Another thing kind of interesting, if you look at the fuel sending unit, it actually has test ports on it. So I don't know if they were testing temperature or pressure or what they were testing there. The paint is, it needs a paint job. I don't know why this door panel was off when we got it. It's laying up there. All the switches are here and everything low. The door panel is good, except for this corner is kind of messed up. It does have a ECM that has some writing on it. Type 5, lock disabled. I did hook the OBD2 to it. It does communicate to it, so the ECM does seem to be good. Also, emissions sticker that it's exempt, being that it was a test car. So anyways, that's what we got. Again, we didn't want to really go over the car and explain what it was until we had the build sheet, the Carfax, and I do have the window sticker coming for it from the museum. I don't know when it'll be here. They had to mail it. We actually drove to the museum this morning and picked up the build sheet. I do know the motor cranks over. Before we loaded on the trailer, hooked the battery to it, hit the key, it did crank over. Of course, the fuel in it is absolutely horrid. The fuel pump doesn't even work anymore. But the motor is not locked or anything. It does crank over. But the whole car's here pretty much. Like I said, it's had a little bit of a hard life. But all the stuff that needs repaired on it wouldn't take a whole lot. Now, with that being said, what do we do with it? The underneath of the car, the exhaust is missing. Underneath of it's pretty clean. The F45 suspension, the 3 except for the right front is leaking. Show the picture here. You can see where it's leaking, but the other 3 are in pretty good shape. But again, we have to figure out what to do with this thing. It needs to be preserved. It needs to be saved. It was going to be just scrapped for parts, but there is some historical value to this car in the sense that it's a 95. It's technically a 95 with an LT4 that left the factory that way. I'm not sure how many of those there are running around. Now, Jordan had his way. We'd be pulling the interior, putting a roll cage in it, and it'd probably be getting raced. But we don't want to do that. So anyways, let us know what should we do with it. Kind of right now, we got a bunch of projects going on here that we got to get caught up on. So it's probably going to be a little bit of time before we get to it. But in the meantime, we just wanted to share what it was and, you know, kind of get an idea of everybody's thoughts on it of what we should do with it. So, with that being said, thank you.